Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I am your host, Alecia Jacobson. Hello. How's it going? Thank you for being here. I've got a lot happening. Well, there's not a lot happening. A lot for me happening right now. No, my husband's just texting me. So that is all that I was responding to him and writing out my notes for this podcast. And well, you can't tell I'm blushing because I'm always red on here, but he is flirty texting with me, which makes me happy. Anyway, I hit record and then I see his messages coming in. So I will just have to wait to see what else he has to say to me until this is done. So maybe this will be a speedy episode. Anyway, hi, we are here. Today's little chit chat we're having. It's a solo episode today. I have so many ideas just swirling around in my head, but the execution of them lately has been a real big challenge for me. And we're going to give it a whirl with the one that I have today because it's spring and I was looking at my plants. I have so many plants that need to be repotted. I had a client and friend that I work with, and I was telling her that I had to repot my plants and that I needed to wait till spring. And she's like, my grandma told me that you plant them when the time is right and you have the time. I was like, oh, I actually really like that. I don't know why we're supposed to wait till spring to replant. I think because they go like dormant or something. Anyway, I kind of like what she said too, or her grandma said, you do it when you have time. Anyway, it's nice out and I'm going to make the time to do it because they're all like outgrowing their pots. And anyway, that kind of got me thinking about we humans and when we outgrow our circumstances. And this is something that we talked about in one of my women's groups. It was a while ago, kind of, what are the identities that you have outgrown? And I just think that's a really valuable topic to turn over in your head because we can get very complacent in life and kind of sit in circumstances that are no longer good for us. And we do it because we don't know anything else and it's easier, at least, that's what our brain likes to tell us and our body likes to tell us. Because as soon as we try to step out of it, our body's like, hey girl, why don't you come back where the water's warm here, where you know what's happening. So anyway, just kind of a thought of what have you outgrown? And this can be, I just kind of made a little list here: ideas, identities, circumstances, circles that you run in. These are all places. It could be, an environment, a work, a career, friendship groups, who knows? But what do you do? How do you first even notice that you've outgrown them and are maybe like, this isn't right for me anymore? And that doesn't mean anything is wrong. It doesn't mean that someone had to have done something. It doesn't have to be something negative. It can, we all evolve. That's hopefully what's happening. It can just be that, oh, I am different now. I no longer align with these ideas or circumstances and I've outgrown them. And that's okay. It's no different than, I'm looking at my plant that is ginormous and just needs a bigger pot. Or I have another one in another room that is like, parts of it are dying because the pot is now too small, which I just freaking repotted this thing. I actually got it from a friend. It's a banana plant and I love them so much. And this thing has died and come back to life so many times. I repotted it last year into a bigger pot and now it's doing the same thing where leaves just keep dying on me because it needs a much bigger pot again. So I'm just going to get like the Mac Daddy and be like, grow, beautiful thing, grow, and bring it downstairs where it has more. It's in my bathroom right now and it touches it's all the way up to the ceiling. So again, it doesn't have to be negative, but it can be perceived as negative because inside our bodies, it feels like friction. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like growth, and growth is, unknown. We don't know. It's uncharted. It's not a space that we have been to before because we're growing into it. It's who we're essentially becoming. And that can be scary and uncomfortable. And kind of knowing that can be helpful because when you know, oh, this is going to be hard or this is going to be a challenge, or I might feel like retreating. I've been there, like the retreating part of it, I many times, which I'll share a little bit about. But just knowing that it can be uncomfortable and tread lightly. I know when I was done at the gym, kind of set me off kind of the last, it's been 3 years now, which is just wild. I think that this podcast was birthed and then the gym was, it wasn't dead. It's still alive. Like, what did I do? Like, adopted it. But I was done there kind of at the same time. And I have been for the last 3 years on this kind of healing, internal healing journey and being slower, which is so painfully uncomfortable for me because I tend to go, I'm either all in or all out. So just having a slower vibe, I've had to kind of readjust so many times because I can go dark. It's not, I laugh. I have noticed something, and you guys all know this, I'm sure, anyway, or anybody who is close with me. I laugh and tell terrible jokes about things because I'm uncomfortable in it. So I'm going to have to bring that to my therapist. We'll have to unpack that one another day. Anyway, it's been something that I have been unpacking and holding and turning over and kind of like I feel like I'm at a point now 3 years later where I can kind of look back and see like, oh, it almost feels like a sweater. I saw this TikTok where this person would go out and buy sweaters and repurpose the yarn in them because they don't want them going to a landfill. And they like, why would I buy new yarn if they can? I mean, I don't have the patience for a project like that, but this person did. So they would like re-spool the yarn from an old sweater. And that's how I feel on my journey of this kind of repotting, but I haven't figured out what I'm being like. I don't know what my pot is going to look like. I don't know what kind of soil I want to plant myself in. But I am this sweater, and I have spent the last 3 years pulling at this thread, and it's like I am an unraveled sweater now, and I have kind of re-spooled myself, and it's like, well, what do I want to create now? That's how I feel. I feel like I was a sweater, and I loved the sweater that I was. I was beautiful and colorful and delightful and not itchy. Like, it didn't have a tight collar that drove me nuts, but it didn't fit anymore. It was no longer me. And I have spent the time unraveling it. And now it's like, I can make whatever the fuck I want. I don't even have to be a fucking sweater if I don't want to be. I can be anything. But I don't know what I want to be. And that is where, for me, when I talk about like I've outgrown so many different things, but also I still have this piece of me that is like, it is so uncomfortable to be slow and to just be and to like have so many options and opportunity, and I'm not saying like I have all these opportunities currently that I can choose from, like I'm just like let me stick my hands in a hat and pick one. But if you think about it, you do. Like, I just don't know what they are yet. I have to imagine them or come up with them or decide, how do I want to be? I'm having this kind of this idea of how do I, if you follow me on social media, you know that I am non-existent currently on social media. I think I just posted today about my asparagus obsession. But before that, it's been weeks. I haven't shared anything. I haven't been putting my face on. I have really I have like conserve and retreat when I'm trying to figure out. There's like, it's like I don't have the bandwidth to do all the things. But when I was working with my coach, I was like, I don't know how I want to show up. Like, I do want to show up, but I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet because I feel like I'm not the old sweater that I was, and I'm on the spool and I can be anything, but there's kind of this expectation of the old sweater, right? And that's how it is. If you are in your career or a circle of friends, people see you as the version of you that you have always been, or the person who has showed up with a certain mindset, or it could even be, your ideas on things. Maybe you've been really vocal and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, like I don't agree. That's not how I feel or believe anymore. But yet that is what you're perceived as. And it can feel very uncomfortable when people have an expectation of you. And that's no longer the expectation. That's no longer how you feel inside. And how do you show up authentically, which also, I don't know, I feel like that's overused, but like truly, how are you choosing to be? Because when we have a feeling inside and how we are, either like, let's say it's your work and you're showing up to something that isn't in alignment with how you feel. And to some degree, I'm not saying that we have to be 100% aligned all the time, because we all have to do shit that's not in alignment. Hopefully not too much, like at your core values, like that would be really hard. But when it gets bigger to where it's like, this is no longer, it's not right for me, that like magnifies and grows. And how can you, one, recognize it? Like, it's not a flaw in you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just you are needing something different. You are needing a different environment. Like, there's also like the hermit crabs that grow out of their shells and they need a different shell. Like, we just need a different shell. You need to knit yourself something new, and that's okay. You just need to take the time to figure out, what do you want? Which also, man, for the world that we live in, being slow and giving yourself time to figure that out without pressure, that's where that feels so comfortable to me, to have intensity and pressure. And I have to work so hard to not do that, to not force myself into doing something that is kind of I don't even know how to do it. It's just intense, because my nervous system still thrives like underneath that pressure. Me, not thrives. Okay, that's the wrong word. She thinks she does. That I cannot, like, I can't live like that anymore. I did that for a long time because that was the life I had to have. I had to do that in order to essentially survive and raise my children and do the things I needed to do. However, that is no longer that's not my external environment anymore, but my internal is like, hey bitch, let's go. So I'm really trying to like do the new ideas and live these new ways. However, I'm like, okay, where am I going? And I don't know. And I have to be patient with myself and with my environment and with the world and my learning and all of these things in order to get there. And that is what I would, kind of share for you too. And just noticing when that feeling comes up inside of you. It's like, kind of like when I decided that I was no longer wanting to be at the gym anymore. I woke up in the morning and I didn't want to go to work. And this was like, I think I'd get up like 4 a.m. and never did that. You would think when you are a person that gets up at 4 a.m. to go to work, that would be a normal thing, that you'd be like, oh, I don't want to get up. I never, ever, ever had that. Now, did I like getting up super early? No. Is that so delightful right now that I'm not getting up that early? Like, it is the most amazing. I don't even notice it really anymore, but I couldn't go back. But I woke up and I was like, I don't want to go. And that whisper and that feeling was so foreign to me. And it happened several times. And I knew that I needed to listen. And that's what I mean. It's a whisper. This is no longer working. It could be that you're in maybe a friend group or a social, maybe you're on a board, who knows? And you have this sort of whisper of, this is not this is not it anymore. And that's okay. And I think that's the first step, is knowing like that it's okay. And then it's okay. Now what the fuck do you want to do with that? Right? Because you can stay, we can all do it. We can all just kind of just do the thing head down, or you can kind of get in alignment with, just kind of listen to yourself, listen to your just that inner knowing that you have, and think of, how do you want to create this new environment? What people do you want to be surrounding yourself with? What are the things that maybe you're Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. All of my children just came home. So my brain just went whoosh. But what are the things that you're craving in your life, and how do you go about creating that and finding it? One of the things that my daughter was watching a show, and it talked about kind of making a list of things that you wanted to do by a certain age. I can't remember the name of the movie, but my birthday's coming up, and it made me think, I'm like, oh, I'm going to make my own list of things. I know people usually do it when they turn like 50 or before they're 50. I'm not quite going that far. But I was like, for this next birthday, kind of this year around the sun or whatever people say, what do I want to do in that time? How do I want to be spending my time? What experiences do I, want to have? And being really intentional with that. And that is kind of this idea of, if you are noticing that you've outgrown certain spaces or things or thoughts, being really intentional about kind of unraveling, and then recreating the environment that you want to create, and doing that with patience and time and kind of the understanding that it's going to take a minute. And that's just the way it goes. If you're watching on YouTube, I have lights behind me that are on, and one is actually on my face right now. I have disco balls in my house, which people think I'm weird. And anyway, they're like, it's a little plant diffuser. And this time of day makes me so happy because in my office, it's like a disco place and there's lights everywhere. Sometimes I turn it on. It's not on right now, but there's like lights all over. But one has just entered into the podcast. So that is what I've been experiencing. Like I said, this has been a 3-year journey for me, and it's not even close to over. I'm just a friggin' thread and yarn on a spool right now, and I am deciding what to create, which is it's scary. And it's also, I feel really fortunate that I can do that. And I have kind of the mindset and awareness of like, hell yeah, I can truly do anything. Sometimes, let me just tell you, sometimes it's not hell yeah. Sometimes it's kind of depressing. Like, shit, what am I doing? That you might have that where it's like, what am I doing with my life? That's kind of, it's essentially the same vibe. Instead of the what am I doing? How do you use that energy as a catalyst to what do I want to do? And how do I want to be? And how do I want to create the circles and the circumstances, and how do you want to be, where do you want to be repotted? What do you want that to look like? Now's a good time. There's a lot of good energy of the kind of more daylight and spring energy. And I love a good season change. So, all right. Have a fabulous day. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And I will talk to you next time. Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.